Trades are a bit crazy this week. So we're going to kick it off with the head-to-head team. We have a lot of issues in the squad. We just found out that Flegler is out this week as well. So he's just going to sit on the pine and we'll make our decisions from there. So I had a few guys I needed to trade out, and that's Satili, Laybutt, and then Latrell Mitchell. So they're the three that are going to exit my side. I was looking there about getting a little bit cute and potentially trading someone else just to get a certain player I want. But I think that's probably a mistake at this point. And what those three trades do is leave me with 117k in the bank. We've been getting smashed with injuries in recent history, but Angus Crichton does come in for 14k. He's a straight swap for Satili. We've got Laybutt down to Schiller for the cash grab, and then Latrell got enough cash to go straight up to Ponga. So that's the general thoughts at the moment. Let me know your thoughts on those three trades and what trades you're doing down in the comments below as well on YouTube. If you're listening to podcasts, jump on and get in the YouTube comments as well. But so that does leave me with some guys that I would potentially look to trade out in weeks to come. A little bit worried about Coruscant with the injury that he's got, but hopefully it's still 65 minutes and he does well. We got Sean Lane, who's a small worry at the moment, obviously. Dillbags hasn't been scoring great. I feel like he's probably just a hold at this point, especially with the issues that I have in my side. Guys that should really be targets, I think, this week, and a shout out to Whisperer for mentioning Nick Meaney. I think he's a great target this week. Center wing, a little bit under 700k. I wish he was a bit cheaper and he went a tiny bit lower because then I could have gone Satili to him. I think Satili to him was, and if I went down to Pap instead of Ponga, I think it left me about 5 or 6k short, which is annoying. Just to beef up that center wing position right now. So he's a really good option. Meaney, like with one try and no assists. He's got a couple of line break assists there in the first 4 games. They have a really beautiful run, and that's where Pappy's a really good buy as well. And then we just got the news of Cleary potentially his recovery from the hamstring injury hasn't gone exactly to plan, or it hasn't been as smoothly as they wanted. So he may miss round 7 as well. And if round 7 is a miss here, it obviously doesn't make too much of a deal in my head-to-head team, but my overall team it does with not having an SJ. I think that Jerome Hughes is the play, guys. Jerome Hughes, Sean Johnson, one of those guys is probably the best way to look at things, to be honest. They're at SJ 691, Hughesy 740, but their run of 4 games is absolutely incredible. They've got they've got Dogs this week who are decimated with Max King out as well. Into Roosters, Rabbitohs, Titans over the next 4. I think Hughes could be the play, especially if Cleary misses 7 and it's having a little bit of an issue with his hamstring. That's round 7 is one of their nicer games, and then you've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 before Origin, and you might sell him over Origin anyway. So Hughes might be the play, guys, if you're looking at that yourself. But in this team, I was trying to look on how I could get Meaney in, and it just doesn't seem like it's an easy play, especially when I definitely need to trade to Ponga or Pap, in my opinion, in this situation. Obviously, Turbo is another option as well, but I do think Ponga and Pap, have the best run of games, obviously of the next period, and I think Ponga is probably the play, so I'm going to lock that one in. Going to play Strange and Schiller this week. Have May out, I have Talangi out, I have Galvin out, I have Chan out, have Henry out, and Flegler. So there's really not too much of too many clear options currently in my team. And we'll be looping very likely with Ponga because I've only got Burbo and Lussick, who I'm not currently playing in my team. So I've got 19 available players, which means I should loop. I think it's a great opportunity to do so. And Ponga in the first game gives me ultimate flexibility on which guy I want to take out the side. And that's where I'll be at with this one. If that doesn't work out, if he gets sort of, I don't know, under 75 to 80, I think in this scenario when I've almost got a free loop, unless someone goes really low, then I'll be captaining Nico. In this squad, there's no real clear other standout in my opinion other than Nico there, or I can't captain Drinkwater then because he's on the reserve. So that's the head-to-head team at the moment. Unfortunately, having to use another boost that puts me down 3 boosts used down to 2 remaining after this, and outside of the boosts have max traded the other weeks, and for the most part it's been trying to get back to a decent rank, but then injuries and the like have have killed us as well. So I think that we have a good enough team this week to do well, and make up some more ranks for sure. But we do need a few of these guys back on the park. Obviously, Flegler and Henry will get back next week, along with Galvin, May, and Talangi. Obviously, probably not as much, but they're the 3 trades at the moment. I think Bostock's is ripening up for the picking, for the trading. That's for sure. And he's an interesting one that I could have used Bostock to get to. To get to Meany as well. I could use Taylor May. I think that extra 7k was enough to get. I think it was about 5 or 6k short of going Satilli. But if I did go Taylor May to Meany, then that would mean holding Satilli for one more week. So let me know if that's something you'd do, if you'd go for that route over, and that means bringing in Pappy as well over the Crichton route. That's my general thoughts at the moment with this team. Let's get into my team from here. So with my squad, I'm in a little bit of a pickle. It's not the worst at all because I don't have all those issues that the head-to-head side does, but currently I've only made the one trade, and that's to go Laybud, who I had as well in this side, down to Schiller, and we'll be playing him this week as well. And that does leave 201k in the bank. And then the questions from there is, do I make a secondary trade? We've got Henry's potentially trade out if we wanted to use him at 337. I've got my concerns around Beau Fermor, but he did look like last week that the first half, I think he was 26 points through like 30 odd minutes, and then got moved out to the centers and kind of didn't really get the ball or able to defend until he got an opportunity with that try, and he looked great and looked fast with that. And we saw what he was able to do a couple of years ago. So he's obviously someone that we could move on if we think the Titans are going to continue to go poorly at 478k. And he's someone that I could use if I went down. If I went down from him to, there are a few things we could do actually, to be fair. With the 201k in the bank, I could go Talangi down to Keilaro, and then Fermor could go up to Nick Meany, who I was mentioning there as well, with Ben Trebojevic going up into Beau's position there in the 2RF. And that leaves me with a solid enough 2RF, obviously with Katoa, Peaceball, Curran, and Smithies, all really, really good spots at the moment. But that's potential, but that means using another boost. If I just use the one trade and stick solid for a week, especially when things are going are pretty dire at the moment in terms of the injuries and the like, then it sets me up in a solid position. And the other thing I was looking at as well was the situation I'm in with saving some cash. The 201k was potentially saving cash next week for Cleary, and if he isn't actually back next week, then it's like, well, what do we do with that cash? Like, do we go to Jerome Hughes, which I was speaking about in the head-to-head section there? If Iro does really well, then Talangi can go down to him pretty comfortably, and we use that 200 and something k in. It's unlikely we use in the front row forward. We want to hope that Coruscant's fine. We probably want to use it either in the half position, or we want to use it in the wingers, center wings there, potentially. And like Taylor May, I think I want to hold at 414. He's so cheap right now, and he's definitely going to have, he's going to score some tries and get some attacking stats at some point. So what do we do? That's the question here that I've got to ask for sure. Because Talangi can go down to Iro, Fermor can go up to Meany. Is that worth it? That's the question. So that's one option, to use the other two trades. The other one is to go down to, if I went Fermor down to Crichton, and then that leaves me with about 270, which I think could get me Hutcho to, no, I wouldn't be able to Hutcho. Yeah, I just don't think that's going to work out either. So I could go Hutcho to SJ with that. Actually, could be fun. Fermor to Crichton, Hutcho to SJ. Puts me in a pretty solid spot, to be fair, as well. So they're the kind of things that I'm looking at in my team right now. There's so much to think about. As I said, the easy option probably doesn't get as many points this week, but saves a couple of trades, is that of just locking in the one trade down to Schiller. And then we can do, depending if Schiller keeps his spot next week or whatever, we can go down to KL, whether it's from Talangi, whether it's from Schiller, whether it's from whoever gets injured. We'll have to find that out. The other thing I was looking at was potentially Dylan Brown as well as a trade out. And if I had 4 trades this week, I could use Dylan Brown, I could use Hutcho and Talangi, or Fermor or a Liam Henry or something like that could potentially be something we look at as well, to make some moves with, and then get that extra gun in the side. Like that's all things to potentially have a look at in that one for sure. As I said, there's just so many things to think about. What are you doing in your side? What would you do in my side in this situation? I'd love to hear your feedback. It's good to get, sometimes if you're a little bit confused in your own brain, to get some other people's feedback. Sometimes people give me great advice and I don't take it. Other times it's the advice isn't as good, but that's it all helps, and I've got to make the decisions with the information provided to me, and that's going to be really helpful. So thanks to you guys for for jumping in here and helping us out, and we'll hopefully make that decision over the next 80 hours. Considering Crichton the decision on Crichton needs to be made, and Satilli over the next 8 hours, that's for sure. So thanks for being in this one, guys. We'll get back into trying to sort out this team, but if you've got any questions on what trades actually made tonight, tomorrow, DM me or jump in the YouTube comments there and I'll be able to help you out there. So thanks for that. See you in the next one.